Okay, we're looking at the Easy Sharp machine here. It's got a 2-pole induction motor, which with no load it would be 3600 RPM. And here it is slowly processing because you have to have some slip to have some torque. It's not a synchronous motor, but it runs real close with no load. And that's a mark I put on the disc. And I got the top off just to show the strobe here. Normally you don't have to run it with the top off. This is a Strobotac here, 631B, old as dirt. And this is close to 3600 here. But the true test is down here. You got the vibrating reed. And if I take over here with the control handle and I vary the speed, you can see the reed there going back and forth. That's to the reed vibrates to 60 hertz to the power company. Let's rotate this around so the reed doesn't move. See if I go real quick, it's way off. Get right to sync up, no motion, and there's the disc slowly processing around. Of course, once you start to grind on a skate, this will go through and slow way down. But if I go down here and go to 1800 RPM, I can get the reed not to move. So I don't have to use the dial. And you have a false. This mark on here, if I make it stop, is actually, it's going around twice. So when you use a strobe, this is actually a neon strobe, neon light. What you do is you got to make sure you go up to find the fundamental. So you go up twice on that. 3600. There it is. It'll tend to pop out a lot more. And I got the lights off here purposely because it's hard to see with a neon strobe. If I go over here and turn it to the real high up, let's go to 7200. Now at 7200 is real interesting. I can make it stop. I can go in there and look at the reed. So I don't have to really worry about this because I'm synced up to the AC line here. Get this so it doesn't move. And over here you can see there's two lines. There's one over here. There's one over here because it's only going half a rev. So that's at 7200, which is not really what it's at. Go down here. So that's on a strobe. You got to make sure which one's the fundamental. So there it is, 3600. That's Easy Sharp skate sharpening machine, and that's the Strobotac by General Radio 631B. We'll turn this off, and this has actually got a start on it, start winding, so once it goes so slow it'll stop pretty quick. There's a mark on there. This has got an 8-inch disc. Normally you put this on here like this. It's got good old 1/4-20s. This unit here is actually made in Stacy, Minnesota, and then they ended up making them in St. Paul. It's a good unit, nice and solid. This is to cut the radius of hollow, and then this is actually the markings for what the radius of hollow is. So the pivot point is through here, and you undo this and move the diamond in. But when you do that, you got to make sure you don't bust the diamond. So anytime you go over here and adjust this, you got to make sure before it's off, you want to make sure you don't just go ahead and crater this and hit it too hard. You want to get just close to it. Take slow cuts. And there's the grind disc. See, motor 3450. Generally on a motor, AC motor, they give you the RPM at load. So if there was no friction and the rotor was out in outer space or in a vacuum, this would be 3600. But because you got drag of the windage, ball bearings and everything, that's why, and at the load, so falls a little bit lower. Okay, I'll show you the motor inside. It's down in here in the cabinet, and that's where you store the skate holder. The skate holder goes inside here. That's for a place to lock it down. That's just got a big 1/2 horsepower AC motor. You really don't need, whether it's a 1/4, 3/4, 1/2 horsepower, you don't really burn that much cutting skates. Got a big industrial motor on it. Those will be available for a long, long time. This particular model here is made in 1992. So desktop machines have a huge lifetime. Okay, and the Strobotac here, here's the dial. And there's the reed. This is the button to turn the reed on and off. Low speed, high, line, and this is with an external contactor, I believe. These are the adjustments for 3600. You go through and put this on low to where you can get in here and get the 3600. Set that on here, and you go through and look at the reed, and you adjust this to the reed doesn't move. Then you go over here and put this to 1800 like this, and then you go through and adjust the 900 screw so this doesn't move. And then you go turn this over to down to 900 over here, and you tweak this again, and then you go back to 1800, 900. It's a little bit of interaction there, so kind of like the big bopper here. These take about probably several minutes to warm up. And a better strobe, I say better, one that's more modern. This is actually xenon strobe. The bulbs are ultra rare on this, but it's got calibrations the same, 3600 and a 900, and you go through and turn it on. We'll turn it on. Takes a while to warm up. There's the calibration on this. You get up here at 3600, and that's this dial. This one on my particular unit here, I'll have to look at the schematic. The pot's like it's got, need to replace that pot or put another one in, because when you adjust it, this gets to be where it has a big jump. hertz. This is RPM. So that's, divide that by 60, 1800, that's 30 flashes a second. So this is probably going to really screw up. That's with the filming right now. It's around 29.5 to 30. That's why that's freaking out right there. Okay, guess what that's for? That's to cut skate guards off.